digital and running two different kinds of ads. So there's four actual offerings inside of Chalk Digital. Today we're going to focus on automated listing program ads and addressable TV ads, which are basically ran to streaming devices, and it's for commercials in between like Hulu, Roku, ABC, ESPN. So it's a really cool way to get massive exposure for your listings in two different dynamics. So in order to access Chalk Digital, you're going to have to log into the corporate resource center. So today I'm going to use Lori Corbin as an example since we've ran a few ads with her. So if you do want to follow along, by all means, but I am going to kind of go a little bit quick, and this will be recorded, as I said. So just kind of get the general overview for today, and then we can rewatch the recording for a more in-depth tutorial. So you're going to want to log into the resource center. All right, and then so once you're inside the resource center, all you're going to do is navigate to this Chalk Digital icon right here at the top center. So you're going to click on Chalk Digital. It's automatically in and it's going to show you what they offer. So today we're going to focus on the automated listing program and the addressable TV, and we're going to go ahead and get started with listing program. So once you decide which direction you want to go in, you're just going to push get started for whichever ad you're going to select. So we're going to push get started for automated listing program. And once you're inside the dashboard, it's going to pull up any active listings you have. You can also change your listing status for pendings, sold, closed, off market, under contract, etc. So you can run ads through this for different types of the real estate process, depending on where your home is. So once you decide that, like, hey, this is the property that I do want to run an ad for, all you're going to do is select the plus icon right here on the right side. So it's going to pull in a photo for the ad. It's going to pull in your information, and it's going to pull in a URL. So this is probably the most complicated part of the entire process, to be completely honest. You're going to have to change this URL to a trackable link from Boomtown. So anytime somebody registers from this ad, you know that they're specifically coming from this Chalk Digital ad that you're running. So what you're going to want to do is go back to your websites. So I'm going to visit lori.38.beachpropertiesoflorida.com for this example. I'm going to go to her Boomtown website, and I'm going to search 211 Pelican Circle. Once you're on the listing that you're trying to run the ad for, all you're going to do is copy and paste this domain from your Boomtown website. You're going to go log into Boomtown if you haven't already. Okay, so once you're in your dashboard for Boomtown, you're going to navigate to the left side of the screen, and you're going to click on Tools. And then you're going to click on Link Generator. So this is how you generate a trackable link for any ad that you're running in the future. You're running a Facebook ad, you're running a property boost ad, you're running Chalk Digital. This is the best way to distinguish where these leads are coming from, because you want to know exactly where the source is. So you know if it's optimized and it's working correctly, or if it's a loser ad and you can just get rid of it because it's not performing. So you're just going to paste that link right here under destination, and you're just going to follow the steps. We're going to select the source as Chalk Digital. We're going to name the campaign exactly what you want. So we're going to do 211 Pelican Circle. And then we will do this. Let's say we're going to target a specific zip code. So for this example for today, we'll target Buckhead, Atlanta. So I'm just going to write the Buckhead right here. And then right here, it's set max property views. So this is how many times it's going to allow somebody to look at different listings on your Boomtown website before it pops a capture to get their information for phone number, email, etc. By default, it's set to 2, but you can change it. We've kind of played around with 2, 3, 5. So kind of you're gonna have to test it, see what works best. I think giving them a little bit of more wiggle room to browse around is good. So we'll set it for 5 today for the example. So we'll change both of these to 5, and set max photo views is anytime they land on a property, they haven't looked at 5 properties already, but they land on one they really like and they're looking at all the photos. Once they watch or look at 5 photos, it'll prompt them to register for your Boomtown. So we're just going to push generate link once you filled out all the steps, and we're going to copy this trackable link right here and take it back over to Chalk Digital. So that is literally the most complicated part of this entire process. Once you have the trackable link, you're just going to paste it right under click URL, and you're going to push create campaign. And then this is where it kind of gets fun. Like Chalk Digital offers a few different creative designs for you guys to choose for your ads. So for the sake of today's example, we're just going to stick to the luxury collection since it's a Gulfront home for the example, but you can do a Cabernet, you can do a black, they've got some whites, etc. So there are a few different designs that you can select. Once you choose the one that you would like, just go ahead and push next. You aren't currently able to upload custom graphics, so just keep that in mind. You kind of are limited to what they offer, but they do have some pretty unique designs that are aesthetically appealing as well. So this will take you into review your ad on the next page. Basically, you don't have to do anything right here for the most part. Typically, it's going to bring in the first image from your listing. Ideally, you guys have already selected the most beautiful photo, so it's just going to populate that into the ad for you. All you're doing right here is just reviewing the information to make sure it's accurate. So I'm looking at the ad. Lori Corbin's name's correct. This is her correct phone number. It's a correct email. It's 4 beds, 4 baths at 7.9 million. So I'm just making sure all the information is accurate. If you do need to change anything, all you're doing is changing it over here on the right, and it will automatically adjust it to the ad for you. And then same concept. Let's say you did want to change the photo. All you do is click, automatically pulls it over for you. So we're just going to keep it back on the Gulfront one. But I did want to show you, if you do need to adjust anything, you adjust everything on the right side of the screen. And then once you've decided that this ad looks accurate, you're just going to push next. And then, so there's 2 ways that you can target for your listing. It depends on exactly what you're trying to do. So if something has just sold, for an example, and you want to run an ad for that, we suggest running it around a 15-mile radius of the property address. So you can target other homeowners in the area, let them know that you're a successful agent, you've sold the property, you're potentially trying to generate more listings. But there's another strategy to generate leads you can do by specific location. And that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to target a feeder market, and we're going to target Buckhead, Atlanta. So all I'm going to do is go get, what was the, it's 30305? 30305. Okay. So we're going to go back. But if you don't know it, you just go Google, look up the zip code. I would type in Buckhead zip code, pull up 30305, and I'm going to change the targeting type to zip code. And then all you're going to do is just type in the new zip code right here. So 30305. You're going to have to click on it to confirm. And then once you have the zip code, push next. And for this example, you can run up to a maximum of 5 zip codes. So you could add a few more zip codes, but I don't recommend that. What I recommend is running multiple ads for just one single zip code. That way, by the end of the 7 days, you can look at which ones are performing the most, and you can get rid of the losers and then scale more of your ad budget into the ads that are performing better than the others. So we're just going to set up 1 zip code for this ad and push next. And right here, you're just going to change the campaign name, and you're kind of going to do the same thing that we did back over in the Boomtown back office. We're just going to do 211 Pelican Circle, Buckhead. The website you don't have to change because you've already typed in and put in the trackable link. And then another really cool feature right here is, obviously you're going to have your seller's name, you're going to have the seller's email. So if you put in, John Doe and then your seller's email, it's going to actually place this ad in front of them on their devices. So if they're actively browsing the internet, they have the potential to see their ad, which obviously is one, it's kind of an ego stroke to the seller because they're like, whoa, like this is my house. I'm seeing it in an ad on whatever platform that they're on. But it also will send them analytical updates every week on how the ad is performing. So it's a dual purpose. So we highly encourage you guys to definitely put in the seller's information. You can put in multiple. So if I did johndoe@gmail.com, you would just add the seller, and then maybe his wife has something as well. You could type in her name, her email, put it in as well. So
do they automatically send the analytics?
Yeah, it'll automatically send the analytics if you put their information in.
There's probably no way to not send the analytics, is there?
Don't put their information in, and then it'll send it to you directly, and then you can decipher the distribution on that. So you don't have to obviously set it up to where they can see anything.
But if you want to drop the ad in and do the ego stroke part,
right, correct.
Okay.
Correct. And then anything where you're just trying to get the information, it will also send you those analytical reports to you as a branded graphic with like your headshot, your information, all the analytics once the ad's completed. And then if you decide that it performed well enough to send it to the seller, obviously just reshare that and send it over to the seller to their email or however you want to send it. So let's say you completed all those steps, same thing, you're just going to push next. And this part also kind of looks a little complicated with how it appears. Don't think about anything besides the left side of the screen. All you're going to do, in my opinion, is what I would do. Run the zip code for 1 zip code per ad, try it out for 1 week, see how well it performs. If you generate a few leads, you get enough exposure, your click-through rate looks good, which I'll go through all that stuff in a minute. You're basically just beta testing for the first week to try to figure out if it's worth scaling more of your ad budget into it. So you're going to want to run 5 different ads to 5 different zip codes. Do them all for 1 week at the lowest ad spend, And then let's say you ran it for Buckhead, you ran it for Dallas, you ran it for Nashville, you ran it for Arkansas and Minnesota. And then you discovered after the first 7 days that Buckhead and Nashville performed better than the other three. You're going to want to get rid of the other three and scale in the budget that you had for those into the two top performing ones, and then run it for maybe another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, depending on how aggressive you want to be with the ad. So I suggest at first run it for 1 week. So right here on the screen, you literally don't have to do anything. Just make sure it says 1 week and then add to cart. And then right here, it's going to look like this. It's not going to say use save cards. You can save a card so it gets easier in the future. So, but what it will look like generally for your first ad is it'll appear like this. And this is just generic payment page, just like shopping for anything on the internet. So you're just going to type in your card, your name on the card, save the card for future use if you would like, agree to the terms and conditions, and submit the payment. So that's literally the entire process. A lot of these ads, it's not going to have any type of description. It's literally just the graphics. So just keep that in mind. It's basically like a banner ad that follows and retargets the buyers depending on one location. And then if they click on the ad, it'll continue to retarget those people no matter where they go on the internet. So this is one dynamic that you can do inside of Chalk Digital. But now I kind of want to show you my favorite aspect, which is the addressable TV commercial ad. So we'll go back. I'm actually just going to exit out of this. Go back. Inside of here. Analytics. So get this out. If you are already running ads, so let's say you've ran some ads and you just want to see how they're performing, you're going to click on the 3 lines in the top right and click on dashboard. And it's going to show you all the analytics for everything that you have currently actively running. So Lori has a few ads running right now. She's reached 2,000 devices. That's all this means is total reach is total devices that this has reached. And they've accumulated over the 3 ads that she has 20,000 views, almost 21,000 views, 201 clicks to her website. Her click-through rate is pretty low. So we would adjust these and try to figure out how to increase. We typically want to try to get around a 3 to 5% click-through rate. It's a pretty good number. So anything can kind of change. You can change the copy, you can change the type of graphic that you have. Like I suggest maybe testing a few different things to see which ones perform better. Because your goal is always trying to get more clicks, which generates more leads. So and then let's say you wanted to look at one specifically, it gives you all the analytics right here. So this one specifically had 6,800 views.
Where is that going then?
This one specifically is going to, so I'll click on this ad. So you click on the graph right there where I just selected, and it'll pull up the whole analytics for that specific ad. And then this one, I believe, is running to Nashville. And it'll show you. So this one's running specifically to Nashville. So this little hot map right here shows you where all the devices were that have seen the ad. And I believe this one is where everybody has clicked. So it'll show you up here as well. Total views, she's had 17,401 total views. 241 clicks and a 1.38% click-through rate on this. So Nashville has been pretty decent for her definitely for exposure. I don't get to see her back end, so I'd have to ask Lori how many leads she generated, but I know she generated a few leads from this, so she is getting leads as well. So it does a really good job at getting you massive exposure. It's a good tool to kind of take back to your seller to be like, look, like not only is this in our local MLS, we're targeting our very popular feeder market of Nashville. We've gotten 17,000 views in the past 7 days. 241 people have visited the specific listing on my Boomtown website. We've generated a few leads. So it just shows them that you're constantly working this in different dynamic ways that not a lot of other agents are typically doing. They're not usually running ads for properties. They're typically photos, videos, MLS, maybe some social media, some property flyers around the community, et cetera. So it's just another unique way to kind of have a competitive advantage against other agents. And if you didn't, like back to your question, Craig, if you wanted to share this, there's a little email campaign report right here. You can just push this button. It'll let you email the campaign over to the seller. So just type in name, email, add it, and then push share. Go back, and now we're going to go back in the Chalk Digital. And we're going to look at the addressable TV ads, powerful offering that Chalk Digital has right now. So addressable TV, same concept. You're going to push get started. And it's very similar. All these operate very similarly. So once you get comfortable kind of setting up one ad, every platform that they offer is pretty much the same. So for this same concept, I want you to select the base package for your first time running the ad for that property. We're going to run ideally a few ads just to get exposure and see which ones perform better. So you're going to select the base package at $50. For this example, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to target, let's see, actually, let's just do a radius for this one, keep it simple. So we're going to do a radius around the address. So I'm going to type in 211 Pelican Circle. So it adjusted the map to have a radius around the property. And then you can also scale this one a little bit higher than the other. So you can scale it up to 100 miles if you'd like. So if you want to target from almost Gulf Shores to the Forgotten Coast, you absolutely can. We're going to keep it simple for this one. We're just going to do a 15-mile radius. Like, let's say that this property has an open house coming up or something along those lines that you just want to try to drive as much traffic from the local area. And you're just going to double check the information. So really all you have to do is the address and the zip code. And once you type in the zip code, it'll automatically populate the rest of the information. Make sure your map looks correct, and you're just going to push next. Same thing, you're going to name this campaign something that is relevant to this specific ad. So we're going to do 211 Pelican EV 15 miles, 15 miles. Landing page URL, you're going to come back to your boomtown, and we're going to have to make one adjustment. So we're going to have to change this campaign name. That's all we're going to have to change because you already have selected the property from your boomtown website. But for the sake of anybody who's not here today, you come back, copy this, go back to boomtown, paste the listing inside of the destination page. It's going to be chalk digital again, and we're just going to change it to TV 15. Set max property views, set max photo views, generate a new link. Then you're just going to copy that trackable link and bring it back over. Paste that link under landing page URL. So what's cool is if you don't have a listing video for this property, or even a listing in general, that does not limit you from being able to run one of these commercial ads. The Resource Center offers a ton of really nice branded corporate videos that you guys can select. And we'll play one, for example. So we'll do Change Your Life. This one, preview the ad to make sure it's what you'd like.
How long is the video? We'll let you do.
So you have 5 seconds. So if you want to run an ad, you have the choice between a 5-second ad, a 15-second ad, a 30-second ad, a 60-second ad, and a 90-second ad. But the caveat to that is it has to be exactly one of those numbers. It can't be 6 seconds. It can't be 12 seconds. It can't be 31 seconds. It has to be specifically those numbers. So keep that in mind. If you have a listing video, you've got to have your editor or whoever's producing this professional video. And that's another concept. This is going to be a commercial. So you want to have some type of professional production. I want to video or something like that. Like, you kind of want to treat this like it's a huge scale production for a commercial. So the more professional you make it, I think the more exposure you're going to get, more leads you'll potentially capture. So just keep that in mind.
Have you guys done any testing on different links? 5 seconds, 30.
We haven't. We've only done one so far, and Lori Corbin's done it, and I'll show you her analytics in a second. So let's say you had a listing video. For this example, we have 211 Pelican Circle, and you wanted to upload your own video. You can upload your own video. So we cut one of Lori's listing videos down from a 38 Ultimate Beach on episodes to 60 seconds. So let's say you wanted to add a video. All you're going to do is add video button right here. If you don't already have a library, it's going to show you 6, 15, 30, 60, 90 seconds. 30-second is preferred from what they're suggesting. And then you're just going to choose the file on your device and then push upload. We've already done that. So once you have it uploaded, it'll appear right here. And I'm just going to select. And once you have your video selected, I do suggest watching it. Make sure everything looks correct before you decide to move on to the next step.
We don't have control of that banner, right?
You do. I'm about to show you that in a second. So you can get rid of the banner, or you can adjust it to a different banner. So they give you a few different options. So you've watched the video. Everything looked accurate. It looks correct. Another cool concept that I do want to mention before we move on is, like I was saying, these do go to streaming platforms. So typically people are going to be watching these on their laptops, their phones, their iPads, even their TVs. So as long as it's some kind of streaming service, and they do offer more of a buffet, these are just kind of the main ones that they're trying to tease you with right here. But Hulu is an example, ESPN, Roku, AMC, ABC, Fox, and HDTV are a few of the places that your sellers or potential leads will be seeing this ad. So you have it selected, you've previewed it, you're just going to push next to move on to adjust your banner. I personally like this banner the best because I think it's the only one that offers a headshot. So it gives you some type of like brand identity and brand exposure. Your team logo, if you have a team or something like that, you don't necessarily have to put yourself, but you can have some creative freedom with kind of changing and giving yourself some brand exposure along with the Beach Properties of Florida and Berkshire Hathaway brand. If you do want to change it, all you do is flip through with the arrows. So it'll show you, it automatically updates and changes. There's a few different options. They are all Cabernet. You cannot adjust colors with these. So if you're not a fan of the banners at all you have to do is just uncheck this box and it'll completely get rid of the banner. But I personally think the first one with like a little bit extra brand exposure, your name, your number, you can adjust this to find your dream home call today. So if you want to change this tagline right here, you can type in anything you'd like and adjust it. And then same thing with your phone number. Let's say you wanted to get creative and make it say something else instead of having your phone number, or you want it to be your email. You can adjust that line right there and change it. So you do get a little bit of flexibility with customization, but not too much at the same time. So once you've decided you want the banner that is selected or you don't want the banner at all, you're just going to push next and move on to the next step. And it's just going to give you a summary of everything that you've done so far. So it's your last chance to review anything that you've selected. The campaign name, the actual campaign budget that you're running, the landing page, etc. And then saying one last, suggest you do preview the ad as many times as you can. It might sound redundant, but there's always something that might catch your eyes. So definitely watch it a few times to make sure it's the ad that you selected. And then you're just going to push create.
Wait, not weekly?
I believe this is monthly, yes. And then same concept, it's going to bring you to a payment page. You type in your card number, you agree to Chalk Digital's terms and conditions. Once you've done that, it will take you back to the dashboard. I'm not going to submit a payment right now, so I'm just going to show you guys. How it's performed for Lori.
So what are they? Like, could you put the link in?
There's it's typically like for the TV, I don't believe that there's going to be a way for them to click, which that's why I was talking to Jimmy yesterday. I was like, that's good. Like I kind of have like an aha moment whenever I was thinking about that too. I was like, what are they clicking on? But a lot of these streaming platforms are on your device as well. So a lot of this in Chalk Digital is, I think, specializing more in exposure as opposed to lead generation, which we'll kind of get into that a little bit after we go into Q&A once we're done with the training. But I'll kind of touch on that.
So they're going into LinkedIn or Facebook?
And it's going into your Boomtown because you use your Boomtown link. So I'm just saying, like, if they're watching Roku on their TV, for example, and they see your ad on the TV, they can't click on anything. Like, it's not going to, there's no way to target that. But if they're streaming on their devices, then there's a way for them to click on it and it'll redirect them to your Boomtown page for 211 Pelican Circle that we showed. And then once they start scrolling through properties or photos, they have the option to get opted into the website when it's prompted. So,
and is it only Boomtown that we can use?
You can use whatever you'd like. So you can use whatever link you'd like. This is just kind of how we're suggesting it on a company level, but feel free to use whatever trackable link that you would like. So
What are the time limits again on the TV?
6, 15, 30, 60, 90.
5, 15.
I think it's 6. I thought it was, let me go through it, but I'm pretty sure it's 6.
That's right.
So yeah, so 6 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or 90 seconds. And it's suggesting a 30-second video. So
30, okay.
it's suggesting a 30-second video. I'm guessing based off of the data that they have that they notice that 30-second ads perform the best. But you do have the option to run very short form ads all the way up to 90 seconds. So
I can create it. So
I think I'm probably going to run out on this. So same concept. You're going to click on 3 dots, move my face out of the way, click on dashboard, and it's going to bring you to every campaign that you're running. These are what we created yesterday, so ignore these. But if you haven't paid, it's going to have a big red icon that says unpaid. These are the active ads, and we'll click on this Dallas, Texas one for the sake of the example. And it looks exactly the same. So she's had 938 total views, 15 total clicks, 1.6% click-through rate. It's going to show you the heat map. It's going to show you also devices, what's working best. So other Android, iOS, desktop.
Is this the video?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
So which one was most effective?
Let's see. I think we only did 2 for her for 7 days. I think this one is within. I think they're pretty similar. I think this is the radius. So this is locally. Performed a little bit less. So 498 views for this one. The last one had 600 something, had a little bit less clicks, and the click-through rate's pretty much the same. So roughly about the same. Yeah, I'd be curious. We'll get in touch with Lori and ask what the lead generation has looked like in back end of Boomtown, but that's why those trackable links are important. So whenever we go to our Boomtown dashboard, go to Lead Central. I don't think this is going to show anything, but on the right side, if you scroll, it'll show you source, and this just says Boomtown, but it'll say Chalk Digital right there, basically. So
And she's running on the video ad, she's running a 60-second.
she's running a 60-second ad.
And that thumbnail is what her thumbnail looks like for the ad, like when it starts out.
Yeah, so it doesn't let you adjust thumbnail or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing just for the sake of this so we don't run too far over.